I think Bello Betty will probably land itself around 85 is where I'm going to go. Maybe $85. I'm going to put this one at initially, I think we're going to see it at maybe 45, 50 come December 27th, but maybe slightly cheaper. I think this will probably be about 120, 130, somewhere in that range. Anywhere in the $400 range, maybe I would say $400, $500 range. Yeah, basically I couldn't have been more wrong. But I did get some right. Yeah, so we ended up getting a few of them right. We got a few of them wrong. It is what it is. I would say I got more wrong than I got right. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to compare some of the lists, or excuse me, some of the prices that I had potentially predicted, and then see where we're at now. Because I did set a date for December 27th to see how this little experiment would go. There were a lot of cards that I definitely put way too much value on, even though they were bad cards, right? Like really, really bad cards. And I was like, yeah, it'll probably, like the Altar will still probably be pretty pricey. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. There's just certain cards that are not good. And I don't know why I was of the mindset that I think... I think I was having copium of Nationals being around the corner, and I was like, oh yeah, all these alt-arts are going to be super expensive because, you know, that's going to be happening. Well, the hype and the necessity for those cards probably won't happen till like beginning or mid-January. So I think that's when we might see some increases in some of those necessary alt-arts for Nationals if people want to bling out their decks. But to start us off, I went through some predictions of all these cards in a previous video. You know, if you haven't seen it, I'll just post a little thing up here, but I'll also post a link down below if you want to check out the first video. It's, you know, it's something. It's something. But we're going to look at the Sabo alt art of the leader. Okay, and this isn't terrible. This is $40. You know, if you like Sabo and you want to pick up a leader, it's a great price to pick up a really cool leader. It's not the best leader though, so I did give it a lower price than the other leaders in the set. However, I thought it would be higher. My guess was $60. I said 60 for Sabo, and it's at 40. So, you know, start writing down tally marks of how many I was absolutely wrong on. But I guess I wasn't that far off, right? $60 was maybe being a little bit generous, but not too bad as a whole. And yeah, obviously when it first came out, you know, the first few days of any set are just absolutely insane. If you pre-ordered at that price, God bless. Don't pre-order leaders. They'll drop. They'll drop. Unless it's like the best leader in the set, then maybe you might have a small come up. But it's, you know, I don't know. RIP to anybody that did that. But next we had the Bello Betty. Yeah, we had the Bello Betty leader. And this one, I was quite far off. I was quite far off. I actually thought that this leader would be a little bit more popular. I thought this leader would go down pretty dramatically at launch, but then come back up because of the popularity of, you know, how like aggressive and, you know, really interesting this deck list is. And this one is looking at about $54 at the moment, but I put it at $85. $85. What was I thinking? Oh my God. Good Lord. 85 is clinically insane. I don't know why I thought it would be that high, but I think guesstimating about 65 would have been fair. I think 65 would have totally been fair, but 85, jeez, that is massive. So yeah, we got this one horrendously wrong. But as you can see, from launch, it wasn't extremely high. It was about $70. And then it went down, got pretty low. But has been back on the rise a little bit and is slowly dropping as well. But I think this is such a cool leader. I think it's such a cool card. There might be... Well, I know that we'll always see Revolutionary Army in the future of this game. So I think that this will be a really cool leader to pick up. Simply because we know that it's going to see a lot of support for the future of the game. Triggers aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So you don't even... I mean, you do have to have Revolutionary type card to trash from your hand. But just purely having triggers on the board is already pretty substantial enough. And I do think that this deck gets a few buffs with some of the yellow cards coming out, not only in OP06, but starter deck 13. Yeah, it's interesting. I think if you're looking to buy Bello, it's probably not the worst time to get her. I think the price might still go down a little bit, but you never know. I feel like this market is so volatile. A lot of these prices can change so quickly. And I am going to misspell this. Oh, brother. I don't know how it's... let's do Don Quixote. Oh, it's R-O-S. Ah, see? Rocinante. Yep, I definitely misspelled that. Now, this one, I wasn't super far off, okay? I wasn't super far off, and I'm okay with that. I knew that Rocinante wasn't going to be that good. Oh, by the way, somebody corrected me the last time. It says it's not Rocinante, it's Rosinante. And I could have sworn that maybe it was just Frankie, or not Frankie, not Frankie, one of the characters in the anime, that when they pronounced his name, they said Rocinante. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But Rosinante is at a solid $38 at the moment, $37, $38. It looks like it's being sold for about $38. And I put 50. I still think that 50 is maybe where it could end up in the future. But yeah, I mean, of the cards in the set, this isn't obviously the craziest leader. It's got some pretty cool combos, but it's a deck that I could potentially see being okay in the future of the game. But the leader ability itself isn't all that in a bag of chips. But green and blue are very nice. It's a good color combination. And yeah, I mean, this might be something that goes up a little bit. But yeah, all right. So we're 3 for 3 on being wrong. We are down bad, ladies and gentlemen. We are down bad. All right. 3 for 3 for being wrong. Now this one I put a little higher, just like the last ones. However, I do stand by the price that I put it at. I think that eventually it will reach that price. I thought that it would reach that price a little faster. But I think I guesstimated 150, right? And right now it's about 110, selling for about 110. And I thought 150 was correct, but it started off there. It started off in the 200 pre-order range, and then as it came out, it dropped to about 130. And it was staying at 130, 120 for a while, but the more that Wave 2 is coming out, it's dropping in price, which I think is awesome. But as far as a leader that will be good, more than likely for the rest of this game, I don't see this leader ability ever really being that bad. The color combination is insane. Black and blue just synergize so well together. I think that this leader will only go up. So if you're looking to get one, I mean, I do think that this might be one of the low end prices that we'll be seeing. I could see it dipping down into like the 90s briefly, but when future sets come out, I promise that this card is only going to go up. This is going to be a value leader right here. So I had this at 150. I was definitely wrong, but it was still pretty neat to see that for like a very short amount of time, like the first week, I was right. I was actually wrong still. I was like underselling it, but then it was like, okay, more of them were getting pulled and people were selling them, so price dropped. And then we have the Luffy leader. Now this might take a second to find. Yeah, because yep, there we go. All right, so this one was I was close. This was 103. I put 120 for this one. It was sitting at 120 for a little bit. It was around the 120 mark. It was a little higher around launch, but I mean, this is a, I think this is just such a cool card in my opinion. Like as far as the artwork, I love it personally. I've always loved these, you know, kind of like the OP01 headshot leader cards. Like I love the zoom in on that, and this just happens to be a really cool like depiction of, you know, of Luffy like mid battle, ready to rock and roll. So I love that, and I think that this is going to be a pretty cool leader for the future of the game as well. I'd love to see purple eventually get like some maybe cheaper costing removal. I think that just having a little bit of early game removal, or potentially even just like cheaper late game removal for just certain small cards would really benefit this deck a lot. And I think that I feel like this deck, it's so sick, but I can't seem to figure out the sauce of this deck. And it's like I played Magellan, I really enjoyed that, but this one is like a bit of a different beast. And I'm really looking forward to a future leader of the black and purple color combination. I love Z, but I do want to see what a different leader would offer, being black and purple. So that does make me really interested in, you know, not only saving many of my purple alt arts, but like also this leader as well, because I think that this is one of the purple leaders that will stand out for sure. But we were about $16 off of this one, so we put it at a little bit too high. And now I think this is the first one that I got. Oh no, it dropped. No. The other day I saw it at 100. No, dang. All right, I thought this was the first one I got right. Okay. So I put Enel at $100. It was at $100 the other day. Oh, that's so sad. Looking at some of the sales, yeah, it looks like it was selling for 100 about like 5 days ago. Dang, man. Oh, I was so close to getting one of them correct. Okay, so this one I put at 100. I was about $19 off as well. But Enel has been sweeping lately. Some of those events, but it's yellow. I mean, what are you gonna do? If you play tight and you don't make mistakes, you also get the benefit of having absolutely insane broken triggers. So it's like, I don't know, kind of a no-brainer. I'm actually kind of surprised that this leader isn't a little higher in cost, if I'm being completely honest. I thought that it would 100% be a little bit more expensive, but it isn't. That's okay. I do think it would be pretty interesting to see where this goes, though, as a mono yellow leader with a lot of the starter deck 13 multicolor yellow leaders coming out, as well as a Yamato in set 6. Yeah, just the future of this card is very interesting. I don't know. I think that the leader ability is really good. I do. I really think it's insane. Yeah. And now from there, we have finished all the leaders, and now some of the character alt arts that I think were pretty close. I think they were pretty close on some of my predictions for this, but there were a few that I am shocked and I am 100% buying. Okay, and Ulti is one of them. I already have 2 of this card. I am 100% buying 2 more of this card. This is such an insane card. For it to be $15 is like an absolute insult. I cannot imagine how this card will not be used in a future set. For your leader being a multicolored leader, you get to look at 3 you know, the top of your deck. You get to scry, you get to scry the top of your deck, choose one of those cards, doesn't matter what it is, event, character, it could be another leader for all I care. You could pick up anything, right? And then you can put that in your hand, and then you get to put the rest to the top or the bottom. If you don't need them, put them to the bottom, the rest go to the top. Very good, very insane. It's got a 1k counter, very good stat line. For this being at $15, I think this is probably one of the best value buys out there right now. I had it at 45. I think that I think I was thinking of how useful the card would be in the future, because I do see this eventually being like a $50 to like $70 card eventually. But that's, you know, that's when it, you know, some sort of deck build comes out that does involve ulti, you know, with a multicolored blue leader. And I love it though. I love it. I'm excited. I know for a fact that it will be useful at some point. It is actually already a great card in Blue Purple Kaido, but you know, it doesn't always work out that you just get to play this card on turn 2 in Blue Purple Kaido, because you're realistically trying to put down your Onigashima Island. But definitely going to be picking up 2 of these. I think this is awesome. This is excellent. And then the first one, ladies and gentlemen, that we were not right, but kind of right, was Baby 5. I put Baby 5 at 30, right? It is $32. So I was like kind of right on the money with this one. I think that, I know searchers like this, people heavily undervalue at first because they're like, oh man, like none of the decks I play run Don Quixote Pirates. This is silly. I don't need this card. This card will not only, like, if you look at this, it was at $10 and now it has only gone up, and that's mostly, there's 2 reasons. It's mostly because Perona just won using a Don Quixote Pirates build in the Eastern meta. It won, I believe, the Japan CS, the Championship Series, where the Perona player, you know, was playing cards like Baby 5 and a lot of the Don Quixote Pirates, like 10 cost Doflamingo. So I'm really glad I got my playset of 10 cost Dofies. I also have 2 of Baby 5 right now. I'm hopefully going to be able to trade for 2 more in the future. But I do think that this card is going to go up substantially as well. Just seeing this in Perona, but also a searcher like this. You know, we already know that Don Quixote Pirates isn't going to be an archetype that is, you know, going to be gone from the game forever now that it's just come out. It's definitely going to be a recurring archetype. So having a character that is able to search through multicolor leader decks as well as mono green decks is just fantastic. So this is and it's such a sick looking alt art, honestly, like with the machine gun, it's so sick. So this one, we actually got correct. That's unbelievable. Now, Borsalino, this was insulting. Yeah, this was, this one hurt my feelings a little bit. $22. But this reminds me of the 9-cost Mihawk when it first came out. 9-cost Mihawk was not very valuable. And now look at it. Mihawk is absolutely thriving at $75, $80. Granted, it is OP01, you know, short print on the OP01 cards, so there is less out in the ether. But Borsalino as a whole being 23 is like a crime, man. I'm so glad that it dropped this low though, because I did pick up 3 of these. I was like, hey, I am super happy with that price. I think what did I trade? I don't even remember. I traded 1 card for 3 of these. I was super happy. I don't even remember what I traded. It was something I had no need for whatsoever though. I was like, psh, have it, all yours. But yeah, I put this card at $60, dude. That was being very generous. I think 40 probably would have been. I think 40 probably would have been a lot better. as a guesstimate, but like 23? Sheesh. I do think this is going to be a super solid card for the future of the game. I really do. I think it's just like Mihawk, fantastic stat line. Being able to bottom deck a 4 cost or less is just phenomenal when you pair it with, you know, Black's cost reduction. Card is, it's really good. And I think that just being able to play this on curve, but also still have options afterwards. So, like, if you play this on 7, you know, that's so good. But if you have 10 Dawn and you play this, you still have 3 Dawn to work with. You have 3 Dawn to attach to a character, 3 Dawn to play Hina before you play Borsellino, to be able to bottom deck an 8 cost or less. I mean, I just think the value of this is fantastic. So for the price, I think it's a great pickup right now. But who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think people value the Mihawk a little bit higher simply because 1, it's OP01, 2, sick character, 3, the 7 cost is pretty nice without having to have any cost reduction as well. So in a lot of blue decks that don't have that cost reduction through some of the Black Navy cards, it does, you know, this at least gives you, or Mihawk at least gives you a little bit of that wiggle room. And then the next one we had was Zoro Juro. I don't know. Oh, there's a hyphen. Okay. Zoro Juro. $27. That's surprising. That's surprising. Because I think that this is going to be a fantastic card for the future of the game as well. Like, it's a Straw Hat crew. You know how many Straw Hats we have in the game, and the ability to search them is not at all limited. There are multiple ways to find them. 1K counter, and just to be able to ramp Dawn, pretty good. Pretty dang good. This one I did have at 45. It's 27 now, but it was sitting around the $30 mark. It's dropped a little bit since, down to 27. You know, on launch, obviously a little higher, so 65. But yeah, I thought this would settle a little bit higher, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I think maybe people are basing this card off of, you know, Purple Luffy's results or Purple Luffy results, but also just Purple Luffy decks as a whole. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I think that, I mean, this card's fantastic in red Purple Luffy. It's not that bad in Purple Luffy, but it's also not great. So this is more of a future of the game card right now. And I mean, I would personally invest in getting a few of these, but you know, after Christmas, whew, money's tight. I can buy 2 of those ultis, okay? That'll cost me $30. 2 of these cost me 60. No, thank you. But yeah, I definitely thought this would be a bit higher. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought this would be a little bit higher. That one surprised me a little bit. Another card that has been doing pretty good, but I think I got the price wrong just a little bit. I got it wrong just a little bit. Was the Gear 5 alternate art Monkey D. Luffy. This was $60 right now, I think, which is super fair, by the way. Super fair. I went a little high on this one. I ended up going with $80. So it looks as though the vast majority of every single card I got wrong. I was actually a little too generous. I was about $20 generous almost every single time. It's crazy. Like, with the alternate art leaders, with all the characters, it's a recurring factor that I was thinking everything would be about $20 higher. And yeah, I mean, $60 though. I still haven't pulled this card, which is really sad. Really, really sad. I love it so bad, and I want one, but I can't seem to pull it. It would be so insane if I did, though. So hopefully in the future, I'd love to pick it up. And we also have the manga rares. So this one, we're just going to go type in law real fast. Yeah, I wanted to go over the manga rares because a few of them I was really close. This one, though, I could not have been more wrong, which is crazy. So I don't believe the card is going for 1,300. Like, obviously, that's what it's being sold at the moment. But the market price is actually, I mean, the market price is 700, but it looks like it's being sold for about 9 to 1,000 over the last week. 900 to 1,000. I could not have been more wrong. I put $450. I did not think this was going to be a manga rare that was going to be doing all that well, if I'm being completely honest. But the lowest that it sold for was about $600, it seems. So 600 being the lowest, that's surprising to me. It is a manga rare. It's also, you know, some of people's favorite characters. I think the panels in the back go hard. As far as the law itself and the artwork, it's okay. I just think, I don't know. For a manga, I thought that this was a pretty disappointing artwork. I was like, dang. The rest of them have been super cool. This one just seemed like kind of meh. But that's just me. I have a friend of mine that absolutely loves it. And I'm like, hey, more power to you. I just think out of the rest that we've seen so far, this one just didn't do it for me. I was like, it's cool, I guess. Yeah, but this one way higher than I was expecting. Way higher. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it's a fantastic card for 3/5. Being able to search. Love it. But I don't think it has a massive place in the meta at the moment. I think the only deck that it's even considered to be in is the red purple law. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of where this will find its spot in the future of the game. Maybe, but we also have to look at the Eustace Kid. No manga here, so let's just look at Eustace Kid. And we have... Am I missing it? I feel like I'm probably missing... Oh, there it is. Yep, I was scrolling past it. Yeah, and this one was kind of like the opposite. I went the opposite side of the spectrum. I think that this is just one of the best purple cards like that purple will have for such a long time. The ability is insane. It's so good. Stat line's insane. It has 1k counter. There are ways to search it. It's crazy good. You know, being one of the supernovas, well, it's not a supernova type in the card game, but like just being one of the, you know, main guys in very various parts of the story. This is interesting. I don't know. I thought it would be much higher. I put this one at $12.50 because I definitely thought the usefulness of this and the demand would be a lot higher. But it looks as though they've been selling for in the sixes. Like some of the lowest have even been lower than Law, only by $1, but still lower. But it looks as though it's about 800-ish right now, right? So 800's where it's kind of finding its place. But yeah, definitely, I really thought that this one, yet again, with kind of the okay art, I think the manga panels go hard in the back, but like, the art's okay on this one. I thought this would be a little bit higher, just because of the overall usefulness of the card and like the future of this card for sure. So I put this one at $12.50, so it's very interesting that the Law I like super undervalued, and that you know was up about $500, and then this one I super overvalued, and that's down by about $400. So pretty interesting how that kind of worked out. I didn't expect them to be around the same price, if I'm being completely honest. And then we have the Luffy, and this thing has been popping in different prices. We're just gonna go high to low here for this one. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. Listed median price is 3.4k, right? But the market price 1.9. So it looks as though the vast majority of these have been selling for about $2,000, right? One just sold the other day for 2.8. What in the world, dude? Oh my god. That is insane. Actually insane. I think this artwork, though, is insane. The panels are insane. Everything about this is fantastic. I think the card, it deserves to be around this price range. I actually put this card at 1,700, so I wasn't far off. I put it at 1,700, and it's going for, yeah, around like the 2,000 price range right now. But yeah, this one was interesting. This was really interesting. And I can definitely only see this going up just because of it being, you know, part of such a iconic set in the One Piece TCG so far, as well as being an iconic moment in the manga and in the anime. This is, I really think that this will be like a collector's dream of pulling this card. And speaking actually of collector's dream, we've got the serial stamped Oda Luffy. Now wait a second. Yes, this bad boy right there. Looking spiffy. Looking spiffy. Oh man. This card I didn't actually end up putting in my previous video because it wasn't on the page that had all the alternate arts that I was looking at. But somebody asked me what my thoughts were in the comments of that video, and I believe my answer was something like 3,000. I think I said 3,000, if I'm not mistaken. But it has been going for about the 2,000 mark. It was a little bit lower than what I was expecting at 1,600 for a while, but now it's been selling at about 2,000. That's where the market price is coming to as well. It's like about 1,900. And I do think that this is going to be like probably the collector's item from the set that will be, I'm fingers crossed that this thing is insane in a few years, because I never want to give it up, right? I never want to let it down. I never want to turn around, but I just, eventually it might hit a price point where I'm like, okay, all right, well, I think I gotta sell it now. It's such a beautiful card, though. I love it. Yeah, this was really neat. I didn't include this in the last video, so I wanted to include it in this one at least. And then I also wanted to go over some of the cards that I did talk about, but some of the alt arts that I thought would be very high priced because of the interest in Sakazuki, and that would be Rebecca's alt art Rebecca alt art character. I put both this and Lucci at $75. I was a little too generous. I was thinking that, and I still think that it might hit $75 about 2 weeks out, maybe a week out from Nationals. I think that this might get up there, simply because there is a massive demand for this card. If people want to bling out their deck, I still need 3 Rebeccas, and I still need 2 Rob Lucci's to finish up my alt arts. That's probably not going to happen. If I get lucky enough that I can trade for them, I'll be happy. Like I traded for a Lucci yesterday. Or was it? Yeah. I got a Lucci and a Baby 5 for 8 cost Katakuri. I was like, I'm not going to be playing yellow anytime in the future, more than likely. So you can just have this. I don't want to play yellow. Yellow haunts my dreams. Okay. So I'm just like, get this card out of my face. I got rid of the Katakuri, and I picked up a Lucci as well as a Baby 5, which I was very happy about. Yeah, but this card has been going down. $40. $40. Not bad. Not too shabby. I think that this might actually, I don't see this card going crazy in the future, because there is an event that's coming out that kind of covers this card. Obviously having a 6K body on board is pretty insane too, but it does give like another option. So Lucci, is still obviously going to be very viable in the Sakazuki deck, but I'm not sure. This is a weird one for me. I feel like we might just see better cards in the future that, you know, obviously taking care of two cards for an on play of 1 is really, really good. But you might just have one that is, you know, similar cost, but doing maybe only KOing 1, but it's like a 3 or a 4 cost. And you're like, well, you know, I might prefer that over, you know, something else. But I still think Rob Lucci's got a spot. Definitely got a spot. Gonna be very interesting to see where this price goes. I could see it dipping down a little bit, but I like it. I like it. I was super off the mark on that one, though. I was heavily off the mark. This one, I was also heavily off the mark. I do think that people are undervaluing this card, though, if I'm being honest. I think that it's not that much higher. I don't think it's crazy. I think this might be like a $40, $45 card. But $28 seems pretty low for how dang good this card can potentially be in the future, but also still is right now. Card is super solid. So we've got $28 on this. I think I put 50. I put 50 for Kaido. And yikes. Yet again, another recurring factor of being at $20 higher than what the card is actually worth. So it was still a fun experiment. I also wanted to go through, you know, a lot of these One Piece markets that we're in right now and just kind of see. Here, let's do Awakening of the New Era. Yeah, just see, you know, what some of the prices are. I guess the Nami SP, we didn't go over any of the SPs because I didn't have them on the sheet that I was looking at the time, but the Nami SP is being the best pull you can get out of the box so far. The Yamato SP, which I did pull, I'm very happy about it being the second best SP that you can get. And Nell shot up. This was kind of crazy, as well as Uta. So love to see that, though, that a lot of the SPs are getting some love. Kaido also. But yeah, I think. Oh wait, the Eustace Captain Kidd. Did I know I did this. Oh, I might not have written this down. I know I did this. I think I put this card at actually being $60, and it's at $33. But overall, a lot of the alts in the set are very, like, there are a lot of them are on the cheaper end, right? Like Manchuri dropping down to 15. Like X-Drake at 12 makes sense. Sabo at 7. That's so sad. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know that they had the sleeved booster packs that you can get on here. But it looks like the price of packs as a whole is slowly coming down, but the price of the boxes are not, which is bizarre to me, because with the boxes, you know, obviously getting a big hit, you know, you get your money's worth, but like as far as pulling a leader, you have to pull a leader and like 2 alt arts to still lose on the price of a box at the moment. It to me, it is surprising that the box hasn't like gone down, simply because of Wave 2 coming out. Obviously, there's demand for the cards, but there's more than enough of the cards to go around. So I'm not sure if people are like just trying to hoard some of the boxes, and that's why there's like maybe there's just a lot of product that's just kind of sitting and you know, in somebody's closet, and then other people are just trying to get their hands on them, but since that would create a lack of product available, I'm not really sure what maybe you guys can fill me in on some details, but I definitely thought that this would be hitting like the 140 mark after Wave 2 has dropped. But also, I don't think every store has gotten their second wave yet. I know of 2 in my area that have gotten there, so I'm not entirely certain how many stores have gotten theirs or haven't. So I don't know who's on the list, you know, that Santa Claus is dropping boxes to first. But yeah, this was super fun, just going back over some of the cards and seeing where the prices have been as a whole. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, this was just a fun video that I did at the very beginning of the set. And now, you know, I did mention the date of December 27th to see where my predictions ended up being, and good lord, were we pretty much wrong on everything. However, it's good to know for next set, because now I'm going to be doing this again next set, and I want to get a lot of them right. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But would love to hear your thoughts as always, guys, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.